This is the second conversation, second jam session with, you know, the producers behind some of the music that we listen to, the music that we love. I'm very excited about this guy, G Washington, someone that I think this year really caught my eye, man. This year with Lost and that Fire on the Mountain EP on the Rise, man. You did something crazy with that, man. You did something crazy with that, dude. Thank you for coming on this session and to chat with me, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me as well.
No problem, man. No problem. But yeah, before we start, man, how you doing? Like, how's everything going in SA? I think that's where you're based. Yeah, how's kind of the music going? Well, yeah, what are you kind of busy with at the moment?
SA, it's fun. It's a fun country. Um, it's full of groovists, as they call them. So yeah, you know, everything is just amazing besides the political side of things. But in terms of music, there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of young people coming with fire. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's amazing. It's an amazing space. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, speaking of obviously the music and the groovists, how early did you know that you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna become a producer. I'm gonna start finding my own sound and making an impact and contributing to the scene in SA.
And yeah, I started by collecting music at a very young age. I was still in primary, grade 4, grade 5, where I used to, be up to date with the latest house music releases. You know, um, and then when I started getting into the party scene, attending events. When I would get there, I'd find that the DJs are playing music that I had way months back, way back. So they were sort of not up to date, as like the way up to date. So I then decided that, ah man, let me get into it. Let me learn how to DJ, so that I can share the beautiful music that I have. Play something that most people haven't had. So introduce music to people basically. So that's how the journey started, and from being a DJ, I then started listening to different sounds. Within the jazz, hip hop, kwaito and house music. There was a point where, as a resident DJ, I played all the genres that I mentioned. So but it's just that house music was the root of me getting into the DJing career and into my musical journey. So then I then decided, while DJing, I started falling in love with creating my own sound. I was interested in creating my own sound. And it was during the era of when Da Capo, Eltonic, Bags and Terry's, Infinite Boys, just to mention a few, when they were rising. I saw that it's basically possible to start this journey. And I was listening to a lot of the guys, Problem Child, and during that time they used to call it tribal house.
Tribal House,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
So I fell in love with tribal house because there was a lot of it symbolized Africa, like it symbolized Africanism. So I fell in love with the genre, and then started following the footsteps of those who are producing it. The likes of Problem Child, and the guys that I mentioned earlier on. So there was just one. I think it was in 2010. There was just one um, group that stood out, that I felt like they defined what I want to do, which was Black Motion. They were heavy on the drums. Their vocal choice, their tribal, their Afro house music and tribal music was more spiritual. I remember back in 2011, 80% of my set would be dominated by black motion songs, and then I just then decided to say, okay, let me follow this journey. Let me follow what the guys are doing and put my emotion in it. Just get into my zone, So if you listen to my sound now, it's drums, it's heaviness, it's very heavy on drums. So that's where the inspiration actually came from.
Okay, that makes sense. And going back to your specific sound and your music production journey,
Yeah.
can you tell us when were you kind of comfortable in releasing tracks, and who helped you, on your path to building that confidence and yeah, finding your sound?
Yeah. So during my tertiary years, this was in 2010, 2013, I had a business partner called Moriski. Moriski, uh, he's because he stopped music, he was one of my best producers. Um, yes, yeah, so his style, the drum style, the percussive style, he like the way he produced his songs, they could, like, they were talking to me. It was the music that I felt, and because I had him closely, he's the person that said, no man, you need to venture into music production. Let me show you a couple of things. Let me give you samples. Let me give you, the producer's pack and what so on, and then start making your own music. So the likes of Moriski was one of the main people who took me into this journey of making music. And then along that, I met Vanko. I went to the same tertiary with Vanko. Because I would do events, Vanko bumped into me. I remember this very well. He bumped into me on campus and he was like, yo, G, this is who I am. Let's meet, let me share my sound with you. And then met Vanko, went to his place, and we were using the same software, Resin. And then Vanco was way advanced with resin. So he showed me a couple of things as well. He showed me, yeah, the software side of things, and he also gave me sample packs. It's like I still have them now. I still use them. Most of the sample packs that I'm using now, I got them from Vanco in 2012, 2011.
Wow, that's a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So he also played a major role, especially with me understanding the software side of resin, things that I didn't know. I could just use the software, but then he introduced me to other things. Say, no, try this, do it like this, do that, do that, do that. We tried working on a couple of songs back then, but we were still learning. When we listened to them,
Of
like,
course, of course. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
basically, I'd say those are the people who contributed highly in terms of me learning how to make music.
That's awesome. Because yeah, I mean, Vanko, he's doing so well right now.
Yeah, yeah,
He's doing very well. I think extremely technical. When I listen to his music,
yeah,
he always kind of challenges you as a listener to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
understand the sound and be that,
yeah,
have that nerdy,
yeah, yeah,
that nerdy ear.
yeah.
I love Vanko, man. I think Vanko, last year he had a great year. I think this year is gonna
Be
even,
amazing for him. Yeah, I'm so proud of where he is
do
now,
more.
and also thankful for the opportunity that I had with him. Even now we still talk.
Of course.
We still great buddies. So yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, so obviously, that was you kind of starting to, become who you are today,
yeah,
and being on that journey
yeah,
with those producers that you mentioned.
yeah,
And yeah, so, and then when it came to actually, becoming a producer and having that confidence, right, of releasing tracks.
Yeah.
Did that come? When would you say that that came? At what stage?
It came later on towards 2017,
Okay.
2017. That's when, the confidence started picking up, because I remember I did one song. I produced one song, which was more of a deep house kind of a vibe, and then I gave it to one of the legends in South Africa, Fistus Mixwell, and then later on, it was in 2016. I gave it to him in 2015. Then 2016, I attended one of his events. He didn't even see that I was there, and then he played the song, and I was like,
Oh wow.
basically, my song is now fit enough.
That's my tune, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then I started to say, let me not sleep on this, and then went back to my archive, started looking at other songs that I produced, especially the Afro ones, the Warrior Mbube song, that, you know, like I said, through Moriski's guidance and everything, he made it possible for me to come up with such products, so I was driving with Problem Child, going to a gig, where Black Motion was actually performing. So in the car, just when we parked outside the venue, I played Warrior Mbuga to Problem Child, and he was like, "Gee, I live with you. I spend most of my time with you. Why are you not playing the songs for me?" And I think maybe it was still a confidence issue. And it's like, I'm opening my laptop. Give me this song. I'm gonna play it tonight. Got there, got inside the venue, played Warrior Mbube, and then it rocked the crowd. Meda Bonks ran from where he was sitting. The Black Motion guys, Tabo Small was like, "What the hell is this song?" And that's where the journey of the song started. Um, and after seeing that response, I was more than confident to say this is actually real. This is something I shouldn't sleep on. So I need to go back to the drawing board and think how and strategize. How can I then take this out? How can I confirm myself as a producer? And again, going back to Vanko is the guy that I would send some of my songs, and he would say, "Gee, I'm actually angry at you because you're not releasing your music, and this is some nice stuff, man. You need to consider releasing that." And after the conversation, I remember we had the conversation outside an institution called Samro, where we register our music in South Africa. He was like, "You need to start taking out this music," and that's where hearing people who are already doing it, having confidence in your music. So I then said to myself, I think it's high time that I take this thing seriously. Yeah, yeah.
And then now we're here. Now we're here. We have bangers like Lost, man. Now we're here, man. Now we're talking. Now you're here talking to me, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah, it's absolutely crazy, bro. But before obviously, we're gonna play Lost
yeah,
and jam to it, and then we can kind of understand a bit more about the
yeah,
sound and your creative
yeah,
process behind that track. But yeah, so tell us, your creative process, right? You go in the studio,
yeah.
do you kind of just go in there and see what happens, or are you more methodical, or are you more strategic? Like, what's your approach before, you know, starting your project?
I'm actually guided by emotions and being in a good creative space. You know, like I would say now this week, for example, it's for me, I'm not in my creative space, so it wouldn't make sense for me to be in studio and try to come up with a song. So um if you were to listen to my songs that I released, and hopefully soon you'll listen to some of the new releases, I kind of have different sounds. you know Within the Afro, I have different sounds. So now next week, if I was to go into studio, the emotional side of things will drive the kind of sound that I will create when I get into studio. So it's more of emotion. It's more of a spiritual feel that when I get into studio, I would be in a zone where I feel like this is how I'm going to drive this particular session, based on how I'm feeling. And that will speak to the vocalist as well. I would then look at my contact list and say to myself, this is the relevant vocalist for this particular song and this particular mood that I'm in. So I know they will execute it according to how I would be satisfied. So yeah, it's mostly emotions and the spiritual feel that guides my music production.
All right, man. Let's listen to some music, bro.
Yeah, rockers.
Of course we of course we're gonna play the banger.
Yeah.
I hope my speakers don't blow up, man. I hope my speakers don't blow up for this one. But okay, before I press play, man, how did you connect with Kasango and give us a bit of a
Yeah.
very quick intro into the story behind Lost.
Yeah. Kasango is he's a close friend. And when we did the song, it was during COVID. It was the COVID times. So we've been arranging to say let's meet for studio, but because he has started his musical journey, he was selectively available. So until we got a perfect time to say let's meet today and work on something. So the minute he confirmed, it was earlier in the day, the minute he confirmed that we can do studio, I then went into my studio, opened Resin, and then I said, let me start a draft of something. And then that's when, within a good 20 minutes, that's when I did the drum, the redrum for Lost. So it took,
In 20
yeah,
minutes. That's crazy, dude. That drum. I was listening to it. So today I was in the office. On the way back from the office, I was listening to it and I was like, this drum, in 20 minutes you did that. That's crazy, man.
yeah, within 20 minutes, I came with a draft. I just put it on my USB and I was listening to it on my way to Kasango's place. When I got there, we were engaging, about the successes, like the industry as a whole. And then I gave him a USB and said, take this. There's a couple of my music. So let's start jamming so that you understand more of my sound. And then he immediately saw um, a track written GW and Kasango. And I was like, which one is this one? And I was like, no, it's something that I did now before I came, that I thought we should, work on, so that, we have enough studio time. When I come here, we don't start from scratch. I already have sort of a skeleton that we can work on. And then he played it. When he played it, I was like, yes, man, the drums are insane, you know. And
That's crazy. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
we spoke about it, and then I was like to him, I used a couple of songs as references, to say these are my favorite songs, and um, it's the sound that also defines me. So um, I would like us to not do the same, but drive it our own way. But the inspiration actually comes from this particular song, which was Mariboy Voy Voy Me, the Hendrik Schwartz remix, and then
Okay.
the Stephen Botzane and Magrum Boy, a song titled I.O. So I was like, these are my lifetime songs, and I would like to drive this drum into that jam, because those songs are like they'll take you far. If you were to listen to them, they'll take you very far. So he got the idea, and I was like, okay, no, it's fine. Gave him the project, Kasango also within 15 minutes he had all the melodies put onto the beat, and that's how he works. Like even recently we did another song. That's how he works. He just listen to it, play the melodies, and say take, see what you do with it. And then I took the separates, went home. Then I started structuring the song. Then I would send it to him back and forth. He'll tell me what to adjust, when to start, the build up of the song, and what so on. And then, yeah, that's how the song became. And then during the mastering, the engineering side of the things, the Rice family, Hyena, um, listened to the song, and he gave a couple of pointers to say, um, do this here, 1 minute, 20 seconds, adjust it like this, do this and that. And that's what I did. I followed his instructions, and then that was the product, that you're back into now.
Okay, let's proceed and press play. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it rock,
Like,
and then
yeah,
every now and then I'm gonna stop it and then kind of let you explain,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and talk a bit about it. But
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Man. The drums, too advanced, man, too advanced. There's because I think like I feel like there's so many layers to the drums,
Yeah,
bro. Like
yeah,
the first, I'm not sure, 20, 30 seconds.
yeah.
There is one. Yeah, you talk about it, man. I can't even talk about it, man. You talk about it.
I'm, I'm, I'm honestly obsessed with drums, eh? Um,
Yeah.
most of my songs are dominated by drums. I would have 10 different drums in a song, but they would still make sense. And the way they're so rich, it's because I combine them. I would combine a tom, a snare, a bongo. I would combine drums until they become one solid sound. So yeah, my obsession is with drums. Every time I start my projects, it's gonna be a drum and a very emotional pad.
The drums alone speak to me, as a fan of the art from the first second, right? From the first second, it's like, what's going on here, man? Like, what did I do? Why are you coming at me? You know what I mean? It's like the drums are crazy, or the drums are crazy. But obviously, you said Kasango is a close friend. Um, when you first heard the melody and he was obviously playing and shared the melodies with you, how did you feel, and what was your first impression?
this is the direction
You got it.
we're taking, and I was just in that zone because for me, synths and the melody side, it's not really my strong point. And whenever I see someone doing it right, I just get lost, I just become happy, So I said to him, Kasango, you driving the song exactly where I would want it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep listening.
yeah.
Oh, man. So, a question I have.
Yeah,
So, you see how the drums enhance, you kind of increase the consistency and the speed of the drums,
yeah, yeah.
right? How did you how did you think of that? Like yeah, what made you say, here I'm gonna pick it up, here I'm gonna do this, here I'm gonna, you know, up the energy.
um, you know how the music, um, if it's a build-up song, hey, you can, if like when you listen to it, it's a build-up song. Like there's an automation with the synth, the strings, and what so on. So how the music side of things was driving the whole instrument, the instrumental, the drums, and the kick. The climax sort of guided me to say, um, this is how you're going to respond to the music with your drums. So the music would play, and whenever it's picking up, um, the other strategy that I use with production, it's called a call and response. You know, so the drums, they're in the way, they were responding to the music. You know, so the music drove how I started becoming aggressive with the drums.
Mm,
Yeah,
got you, man. And before we finish the track,
yeah.
when do you play this track in your sets? Do you kind of respond to the crowd? Do you know already when you're going to play it in your set? Like, how do you pick a moment when to drop this track?
um, Usually I play towards the end of the set, and again it depends on the kind of event and the kind of crowd that I'm playing for. Sometimes how I would start my set, I would start just by going hard, going high, and then bringing it down towards the end of the set with, a more chilled, emotional kind of a song. So basically, the last 15 minutes of my set, if I've started on a high note, I would then bring it down, and that's when I would play Lost towards the end. Or sometimes if it's a longer set and it's a build-up set, and I find that people are chilling, I can simply start with the more calm, emotional songs while I'm building up into the heavy, dancing music, if I that way. Yeah, I was having a conversation with Floyd Lavin, just at the
Yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to
yeah, man.
him. Yeah,
And Floyd said, these songs, you don't just play them. He said for him in his sets, he has to find the right time to play them, because they all the songs in the Fire on the Mountain EP. He was like, you need to find a specific time to play them. You can't just play them recklessly. So I'm actually laughing when you ask him the question, because um someone else out there is also thinking the same, to say you don't just play the songs.
mate. But you saw my reaction, right? When I first heard the track, I was like,
Where do we start?
yeah, because you can't. I feel like, yeah, you can't play this if people are chilling. Obviously, you're not gonna play it. If people are dancing but they're not really kind of engaged,
Yeah,
you can't really play it. I think it has to be right
yeah,
moments, man.
yeah. It needs the right moment.
Yeah, it's one of those, and if you drop it the right way, then it's gonna have
The impact.
such a huge
Yeah,
impact. Such a huge impact,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Such a huge, and I feel like it's one of those where it needs like lights, it needs like an immersive experience with it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. There must just be
Yeah,
drama. There must be drama.
yeah, man. It needs like a whole movie cast. Like it sounds like a movie. Like when I
Yeah,
hear it, it's like this could be
yeah,
a soundtrack for a
yeah,
movie. 100%.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
Love it, man. Okay, man. Let's finish. How many minutes do you have left? Yeah, about 2 minutes. Let's finish it.
Yeah.
Man. Well done, bro. Well done, bro.
Uh,
Crazy. Absolutely madness. Madness.
yeah.
Let me stop sharing. Bro, I appreciate you spending some time with me, man, and kind of giving me a bit of an insight into how you approach tracks,
Yeah.
music production,
Yeah.
DJing, your background,
Yeah.
and everything. Last question, man.
Yeah.
2023. What? Don't give us everything, but what can we expect?
Um. There's a lot that I'm planning. Hey. There's a lot. But the main thing is now introducing more of my music to people. um, travel, all in the name of music, introduce myself to the world, introduce my music to the world, and yeah, collaborate with people. Because it's a good experience whenever you have different people in studio working with them. They test your creativity. They test your patience and a whole lot of things. So yeah, on top of the list, it's just taking the music out and taking it to the world.
Yeah, man, I can't wait, and hopefully, you and I will be able to connect in person
Yeah,
soon.
yeah,
And yeah, anything I can do, bro, to push your music to support.
yeah,
I mean, man,
and
I'm always down.
yeah. Thanks to you, man. Like, all the videos that you're taking out, tagging me about the song. It's highly currently it's highly contributing to my career. It's something that it means a lot to me. I mean,
Of
it
course,
means a lot, and I would like to say thank you for the opportunity,
of course,
for sharing my music and my work effortlessly. I don't even have better words to express it, but it's something from where I'm sitting every day. I'm just thinking of the impact that the impact that you're giving, towards my music career currently, and it's something that means more than anything to me.